Yo, what is up, guys? TheHauntedScythe here today. As you can see up in the top right hand corner, I got Game Pass. I was talked into getting Game Pass, and with that came Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And one of the reasons I got talked into getting this, or the Game Pass, is because this game looks so gosh dang good. I want to play it so bad, but the only game I've ever played that's like associated with a Microsoft account is gosh dang Minecraft. So that's what this is from. Anyway, unrelated. We are gonna go through some gosh dang tutorials today. I've never played this game. I just got it.
Part of the family now. It's up to you to secure the property and stop victims from escaping. The family's way of life depends on it. Keep all doors locked and make sure all exits are closed, trapped, or guarded. Make sure to monitor crucial pieces of equipment like generators, the fuse box, and the water valve pump. The status of these items play a huge role in whether or not victims will have an easy path to escape. Make sure to collect blood from drainage buckets scattered around the map, or by attacking victims directly. Feed this newly acquired blood to Grandpa to make him stronger and more effective. The stronger he is, the more powerful his sonar ability will become. Pretty soon he'll be finding and highlighting victims for the whole family to see. Feed Grandpa enough, and he'll give the family new abilities that can be used for the rest of the match. Remember, Grandpa is the best killer that ever was. Hunt down the victims using abilities and teamwork. Look for signs of movement and listen for noise. Pay attention to your surroundings and keep your eyes and ears open. You never know where one of those victims might be hiding. Speaking of abilities, each family member has a unique ability that can help hunt and track down victims. Careful though, some abilities have limited quantities while others are on a cooldown. So hunt wisely. Once you locate or find a victim, make sure you have a plan. Try to set up ambushes or catch them off guard. The direct approach isn't always the best, so use your fellow family members when possible. Once your plan unfolds and you get them within range, hit them, then hit them again. And remember, if you do manage to successfully hit or execute a victim, take that blood to Grandpa. He's hungry and needs his strength in order to help you. Oh, don't let a single victim escape. After all, we win as a family or we lose as a family.
Okay. Anyway, so that's kind of like the premise of the game. I did not mean to click that, but we will watch this. But it's based off, obviously, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the movie. So it's like you can play as the family and the characters. You guys saw you guys haven't seen the characters. There's Leatherface, the hitchhiker, the cook, and then Johnny and Sissy. Yeah, those are the killers, or the family. It's a 3v4 game, so there's three family members on the map at the same time, not including Grandpa. And you feed Grandpa, he has like sonar powers, I think. I've seen people play the game, but I haven't played it myself. But let's learn how to play Leatherface. Oh, I broke him. I broke the tutorial by pausing it. Oh, maybe there's just not voicing for this. Okay, well that means we will do it then. Let's try the cook. Nope. Okay. So the cook runs a gas station and is one of the older members of the Slaughter family. Okay, so they're by the Slaughter family in this one. Due to Grandpa's advanced age, the cook is now responsible for keeping the family together and out of trouble. So he's the oldest brother. He's got to keep the family together. The cook may not be the quickest or strongest anymore, but this lack of physicality is more than made up for by his advanced hearing and intimate knowledge of the Slaughter family properties. Yeah, so he has, I think, locks is his ability. I'll probably talk about that. He can hear. He has good hearing. That's superpower we all need. The cook can use his hearing to detect noisy victims across the map. This allows him to quickly identify and mark targets for the whole family to see. The only downside to his hearing is he may occasionally mistake machinery or other sound sources as victims. The cook can also add locks to doors and gates to help secure specific sections of a map. This is a great way to reinforce exits and apply added pressure to victims. And while he can only carry 3 padlocks at once, the cook can recover locks and move them to different doors or gates if needed. Although the cook may not be the same killer he was years ago, his attacks are still vicious and deadly. He should not be underestimated. The cook's strengths lie in his perception and his ability to mark prey for other family members. If you can play this role efficiently, your team's chance at catching victims will be greatly increased. So he's kind of like a support, basically like a support. So he has locks. He can lock doors, and he also highlights people that I don't know if other people can see him. But he highlights people that he can see for sure because we saw it in the thing. I don't know if it shows that to your family members or not, but at the very least, you could call it out. So that seems pretty cool. Leatherface is a hulking figure that wears masks made of human flesh. Goodness, I missed that. The last little bit. Anyway, whether under the control of the family or due to feeling threatened, Leatherface's motives are unknown. He's a brutal killer who wields a chainsaw as his chosen weapon. He's the most ruthless family member. This is the original house. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. To start the chainsaw, press right click, then yank to pull the cord using E at just the right time. Okay. Once the chainsaw is running, make sure to keep it revved. Make sure you keep it revved. So by clicking right click. Or it may stall and quit on you. If this happens, you have to complete the starting minigame all over again. Also, that was him stalling, I assume. Leatherface can also turn his chainsaw off. This will allow him to sneak around quietly and catch unsuspecting victims off guard. Cool. You can also cut down barricades, doors, and other obstacles with the chainsaw. This will take away stealthy traversal options for the victims, therefore benefiting the entire family. That's pretty cool. He's cutting the door open. The strength of your attacks are directly tied to the rev feature, so the longer you rev the chainsaw, the more powerful your attack will be. To attack, simply press the left click. So the longer you rev, the more damage it'll do, but you also run the risk of it stalling. Okay, that's pretty good. To unleash a power attack, you have to rev the chainsaw to its limits. Once you see smoke, and right before the chainsaw overheats, press the attack button to unleash what could be a one-hit kill. Careful though, if you don't time it perfectly, the saw will overheat. Okay, so it's just saying what I was saying. And that was the other angle from his perspective of it overheating. Leatherface is a much more varied character than he initially appears. He is a punishing menace who can kill victims in an instant, but he can also play stealthy or support the family in numerous ways. Because he can destroy those barricades, open up more options. So that's pretty good. That's pretty cool. So instead of like the cook, so the cook's more focused on support, like overall, but he is more focused on killing, but he can also do those things to help the family in little ways, which is pretty cool, pretty fair. Let's go to the Hitchhiker now. Sadistic, erratic, unhinged, and violent. Hitchhiker is the most unpredictable member of the Slaughter family. He has a habit of turning victims into art. The Hitchhiker roams the backroads of Texas, luring unwary travelers into the clutches of the family. He relishes tormenting his prey. The Hitchhiker enjoys the chase with sickening glee, where he's able to maintain the pursuit longer than other family members due to his high endurance level. He's fast, wide-witted. Yes, and persistence. The Hitchhiker can place homemade bone traps to ensnare and injure victims. Not only do they hold victims in place, but they break the bones in the process. Hitchhiker can carry 3 traps at once and place them almost anywhere. He also has the option to collect and reset traps if needed, making him even more deadly and able to improvise. Quick and nimble, the Hitchhiker can use gaps and crawls spaces just like victims, making him extremely hard to lose and chase. The Hitchhiker's attacks are one of the weakest in the family, but he more than makes up for that with the speed and frequency of his slashes. Deadly and deranged as they come, the Hitchhiker is a vicious killer who shows victims very little mercy. Over Johnny. Johnny is as ruthless as he is handsome. He uses his good looks to stalk prey or stalk and prey on those he considers weaker than him. He then lures them back to one of the family's properties where they are never to be heard from again. He's the closest thing the family has to a traditional serial killer. Johnny's weapon of choice is a skinning knife he received from Grandpa. He's both vicious and powerful with his attacks. Johnny is so powerful, in fact, that his attacks often leave victims concussed. This leaves them confused and dazed for a short period of time after hitting them. And like most serial killers, Johnny's an expert at stalking and hunting his prey. By activating his hunting ability with right-click, Johnny can search the environment and quickly identify clues left behind by victims. Once a clue is discovered, Johnny can press E to analyze it farther, ultimately revealing the victim's most recent navigation path. Depending on how recent the trails were left behind, his ability can sometimes lead to him directly to cornering a victim. But remember, abilities can only be activated for so long before a cooldown is applied. Try to plan and coordinate with other family members so the hunting... blah, 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 blah. Okay, let's recap these characters so far. We have Sissy left. So Leatherface, kind of the like fighter. I don't know if I would necessarily call him that, but he can one-shot people, which is really cool. But that also runs the risk of overheating, so I think that's balanced. That's good. He can destroy things, so he has a little bit of support in him. The cook, mainly a support. The hitchhiker seems more like a... I don't know, because he can place traps, which is cool. So he can block off certain things, you know what I mean? He's like a trapper, but he also is very good at a chase. So he's mainly focused on what the survivors are going to do. The victims, I guess. Yeah, it says victims up there. What the victims are going to be doing. So he's always thinking about where they're going and what they're doing, and he can chase people into his own traps. That's pretty cool. Johnny is like the stalker and just straight up damage. And then let's learn about Sissy. Sissy is the definition of psychotic, treading the fine line between reality and delusion. She's as unpredictable and violent as they come. Sissy's past is a turbulent one. Sissy got caught up in the zeitgeist of the late 60s and rebelled against the family. She spent time at Spawn Ranch in California before joining an ashram in Washington, and later a commune in the Rockies, leaving a trail of carnage in her wake. By 1973, Sissy was back home with the family. I haven't seen this movie. Like Johnny, Sissy enjoys a kill, reveling in the violence of her actions. She uses her straight razor to unleash lightning-fast attacks, slicing and dicing her prey with a reckless abandon. Using knowledge gained from her time away from the family, Sissy developed a mixture of deadly powder using various wildflowers. She uses this concoction to weaken and disorient her foes before killing them. The powder can be blown into a thick cloud or sprinkled on objects to apply the disorienting effect. Anyone who mistakenly drinks or inhales the mixture will soon find escaping Sissy nearly impossible. You will be at her mercy until the effect wears off. And if she runs out of powder, the Texas countryside is there to help. Sissy has multiple mortar and pestle stations located around the property that can be used to replenish her stock. Being slight and nimble, Sissy can squeeze through gaps and crawl spaces to chase down her victims, as well as hide in freezers and armories to ambush unsuspecting prey. She's as sneaky as she is dangerous. And remember, if you hear Sissy singing, you better run and hide before it's too late. Okay, so Sissy sounds gosh dang scary, bro. If it makes it so if she finds stuff and poisons it, that means you can't like use it, you know what I mean? Like if I don't know like what's in the game, but if there's like heals or something and she like poisons it, does it show that, or like am I just gonna try to heal and like die or get really disoriented? That's kind of crazy. That's kind of cool. And she can hide and walk and stuff. That's so freaking scary. Holy smokes, that's pretty cool. All right, stamina. Well, let's go over just the basics. Hunting and executing victims require both skill and stamina for the family player. Different family members have different levels of stamina based on their attributes. Running and attacking consume stamina. You can run by pressing shift. Your stamina will tick down the longer you run. So there's like a perk system. Each swing of your weapon will take a chunk of stamina from you. Be sure to time your attacks intentionally during a chase or you will run out of breath and lose your target. If you use all your stamina, you won't be able to run or attack. It will take a few moments for the family to regenerate the lost stamina. It said the hitchhiker had really high stamina, so that's good. You don't want to run out of stamina when you are chasing a victim close to the exit about to escape. Keep an eye on it and ease off when you need to. It's better to land a well-timed hit than to swing your weapon wildly. Anticipate the victim's movement and attack intentionally to wear them down, not you. Victims have escaped their restraints. You must stop them at all costs. The family's way of life depends on it. Use the right trigger, or left click, to perform a melee attack. Some family members are stronger than others and therefore will inflict more damage on each successful strike. Once a victim's health reaches 0, a grisly execution will be triggered. Okay. Keep in mind, each successful melee attack and execution will give you blood for Grandpa, so even a single hit can be useful. You can only carry so much blood, so be sure to stop and feed Grandpa. So, like, every single character can gain blood, and the more, I assume, what's probably pretty big in actual games, is, like, you want to feed him. However, both sprinting and melee attacks consume stamina. You will have limited stamina capacity, so plan your hunt wisely. I'm pretty sure he has, he reveals people, the Grandpa. Once your stamina is depleted, your attacks and movement speed will be reduced drastically until the stamina bar is replenished. A good hunter knows when to attack and when to hold back. Leatherface's attacks are a little different. His chainsaw must be turned on and off, or on and revved before he can use it. The longer you rev the saw, the more powerful the attack will be. We kind of went over that with the character himself. If it overheats, yeah, we know that. A cooldown applied to the weapon. Oh, so he has quite a long animation, it looks like. But for those players who are willing to risk the saw overheating, a special attack is waiting. Time the attack, just saw overheats, and it will be a one-hit kill. That's kind of crazy that you can one-hit kill. Especially if it was like that right before they're about to get out, right? Because that was him running away, right? Leatherface can also perform special environmental kills on incapacitated victims. If a victim is on the ground struggling for their life, Leatherface can pick them up with F, or spacebar, and then carry them around to the gallows for execution. That's gosh dang crazy, bro. What? Dude has kill animations. Like, you can, like, do other things. Alternatively, incapacitated victims can be executed on the spot instantly by all family members if time is an issue. So keep an eye out for victims who have bled out or those who have suffered critical damage after jumping through windows or down wells. This is a perfect opportunity to strike. Do my nose. I apologize for my sniffling. Occasionally, a victim might try to defend themselves by attacking you head on. If this happens, be prepared for a grapple minigame. Win, and it will spell serious trouble for the victim. Lose, and you will be stunned for a set amount of time. So that's probably like last case scenario for sure for a victim. Initially, you may think the victims have the advantage due to their numbers and plentiful stealth options located on the map. But remember, this is your property. So just use your abilities, feed Grandpa, and keep working as a team. Eventually, you'll wear them down hit by hit, piece by piece. Happy hunting. Gosh dang. So there's multiple maps then? So there's one... Is that like the original, like, in the first movie, the chili place? That gas station? Dang, we got some more tutorials. We got quite a few. So we have Grandpa, exits, securing the property, player progression, character loadouts, attributes, ability unlock tree, and the skill tree. So let's go through these. So we have we've been through this. Noise and hiding. Sound plays a major factor in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Using it to your advantage as a family member can mean the difference between winning and losing. Big or small, noises can give you a good idea where victims might be hiding. Properties are old and creaky. No one is going to be able to sneak around without creating some level of noise. And when they do, be ready to react. Almost anything in the environment can generate noise if victims aren't careful. Toolboxes, crawl spaces, doors being slammed, dangling bone charms, and even chickens are just a few examples of objects that can alert you to noisy victims. And if they are careless and make a mistake, they will be highlighted for the whole family to see. So be on the lookout and listen for anything suspicious. But be warned, family members can also make noise in nearly the same way. If you want to be sneaky and ambush victims, watch what you're doing and move carefully. Luckily, several family members are great at scurrying around unnoticed. The hitchhiker can crouch and hide in tall foliage or behind large objects, while Sissy can actually climb into hiding spots normally used by victims. Use this to ambush unsuspecting victims near hiding spots or shadows. Other times, you might want to be extra loud and use noise to scare the victims and drive them into ambushes or traps. Leatherface's chainsaw will strike the fear of the Lord and the nearby victims. Use the saw to scatter victims. Scared and disoriented victims are more likely to make mistakes, therefore generating more noise, so use Leatherface and his chainsaw to your advantage. The cook and grandpa are highly skilled at detecting noisy victims. They will highlight anyone they find for the whole family to see. Help them out by making sure victims are uncomfortable. If you run into victims that are being extra sneaky, make sure to check hiding spaces like shadows, tall foliage, armories, vehicle trunks, and even freezers. Victims can be hiding anywhere. But remember, they can't hide forever. If you are having trouble, make sure to feed Grandpa and level up. His ability will surely find them. So yeah. Then we go straight into the Grandpa so we learn more. Grandpa's the head of the family. He was the greatest killer there ever was. Grandpa loves blood, and being part of the family means you must collect and feed it to him as much as possible. Grandpa is asleep at first, but if the victims make too much noise, open a basement door, or he has fed enough blood, he'll wake up. When Grandpa is awake, he'll be ready to help you with the hunt. You can collect some blood from buckets found around the property or by attacking victims. Every hit gets some. If you execute a victim, you'll get a huge amount to feed Grandpa. You can only carry so much blood at a time. Avoid wasting any, especially if you have executed a victim. The more blood Grandpa has fed, the more powerful he'll become. Prioritize increasing his strength to locate victims faster. Grandpa hears everything. He can detect victims moving around the property, and he'll let the family know where to find them. Additionally, the family can give him special abilities to aid in the hunt. So we can give Grandpa abilities? Abilities to assist the family are selected before each match. Choose wisely based on what has been unlocked in your playstyle. Okay. By continuously feeding Grandpa, his power level will increase. This will unlock an equipped ability and make Grandpa's detection more powerful. Once at maximum level, Grandpa's detection becomes so powerful, even if victims are perfectly still, that will be seen. There's no place to hide. That's crazy. So, victims are on a time limit, pretty much. As powerful as Grandpa is, he is still vulnerable to attack, so you will need to protect him from aggressive victims. Dang, they can kill Grandpa? If a victim attacks Grandpa with a bone scrap, his powers will be reduced, and he'll be incapacitated for a time, allowing victims to run free without fear of detection. You'll also lose any Grandpa abilities that were active, shifting the advantage to the victims. Okay, that makes sense. It kind of balances it. Make sure you take care of Grandpa, feed him blood, and let him help the family in the hunt for victims. Securing the property. Each map has 4 exits that the victims will try to use to escape the property. You're going to need to secure and guard them all to make sure victims cannot leave. First is the road exit. This is where there is a cattle grid protecting this, but the family will need to remember to turn on the connected generator or it is useless. Generators are found close by. Just follow the power cable from the cattle grid. If a victim turns off the generator, the family can turn it back on once it has cooled down. Until then, someone should stand guard and be on the lookout. Next is the back of the property. The gate is locked and connected to a car battery to shock victims if they try to leave. You need to make sure it is turned on. Again, if the victims turn this off, the family can jump start the battery to send power back to the cattle grid again. Look out for victims close by or trying to escape. There is also a water pressure gauge. This is connected to a pressure valve and tank. If the pressure is released, then the gate will open for a short time before the system resets. Making sure victims do not get the valve handle is the key to protecting this exit. If you see steam coming from the system, get to the valve and turn it off to stop the gate from opening. It takes some time for the gate to open once pressure is released, so use this to your advantage. And last is the basement exit. This is connected to a fuse box located somewhere on the property. The fuses have been removed, but they are located somewhere around the property. If a victim finds them and puts them in the fuse box properly, the basement door will open for a time, allowing for any victims in the basement to escape. Okay. Remember, if any of these exits are opened up, the family can close them again. However, until they can be secured, someone must keep an eye on them to stop any victims from escaping. Happy hunting. We just watched securing the property, right? Or did we watch exits? Yes. Wait, what's the exits one? Okay, there's a different prayer level, but in the following categories. Road exits, we didn't watch this one. Road exits, but the other one goes over this anyway. Rear gate exits. Okay, so one in the front, one in the back. Fuse box exits, okay. And that was the one that was in the basement. And valve exits. This looks outside, but it's just somewhere up there. Oh, I'm yawning. Oh no. Oh, okay. Each exit type requires a specific interaction to open it for the victims to escape. You must explore the property, find items, interact with objects in the environment, and discover the different ways to open these escape routes to stay alive. Or escape routes. That thing. Capiche. But yes. Goodness, man. Player progression. In the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, players level up by earning experience points known as XP. Okay, so just a basic leveling up system, that makes sense. As you play the game, you will gain XP for actions done in the match. The more important the action, the more XP it rewards. Okay, that's cool. Earning XP raises your player level, unlocks rewards, and gives skill points to spend in your chosen character's skill tree. Any perks or abilities equipped will also level up, becoming stronger over time as you play. Characters will also level up based on the amount of skill points used in their skill tree. That's pretty cool. I kind of like the system. Each character has a maximum of 10 levels to complete. Looking at a player level looking at a player's level and their character's level will give you an idea of how dangerous or elusive they might be in the upcoming match. Okay. Choose both victims and family to learn their strengths and weaknesses. Then use their knowledge to your advantage. Character loadouts. This is the loadout screen. Here you can create and save different loadouts for each character to make them your own. Each character has access to different abilities, perks, and attributes that they can equip and manage here. There are lots of ways to build a character. Experiment and try out different combinations of abilities, perks, and attributes to fit your playstyle. Once you're happy with the loadout, you can save it in the loadout slot. Each character gets 5 slots, so you can create different loadouts for many gameplay situations. There are elements that make up a character, these are the elements that make up a character. Abilities are the core of what makes a character unique, tying into their roles, strengths, and weaknesses. Each ability is upgradable in the skill tree, increasing its power and offering more ways to make each character your own. These abilities can be the key to success or failure, so use them wisely. Grandpa's abilities are unique boosts only available to family players. When you feed Grandpa blood during a match, his power level is raised and more abilities are unlocked. Each family member can only equip one Grandpa ability, so it's a good idea to coordinate with other family members. Grandpa is happy when his family plays well together. To select a Grandpa ability, choose the Grandpa ability slot in your character's loadout and choose the ability you want from the list. Perks and modifiers to characters. Perks are modifiers to characters that give them an advantage in a specific area or skill. Perks can be selected and equipped in this menu. To add a perk to your loadout, select the perk slot and then select your desired perk from the list by pressing the confirm button. You can filter the perks by attribute. Each character can equip a maximum of 3 perks, and they have access to different selection of perks found on their skill tree. Only perks that have been unlocked in the skill tree can be equipped on the loadout screen. The skill tree is covered in detail in another tutorial. As well as abilities and perks, each character has different strengths and weaknesses based on their key attributes. Players should note these attributes and choose a character whose strength supports your playstyle. You can highlight each attribute to see what capabilities it ties into. You can modify attributes by allocating attribute points as you progress through a character skill tree. That's really crazy. That's really cool. Attribute points can be used to compensate for weaknesses or boost strengths. Each attribute will be spent will increase the selected attribute by 1 point to a maximum of 25 points. Select the, not 25 points cap. It's like you get extra 25 points, I think. That's what it's saying. Select the modifier arrows and use the less than or greater than signs to increase or decrease. So they're just arrows. Use the arrows to go up or down. To add or remove, I mean. Same thing. Attribute points for your chosen attribute. With the character's abilities, perks, and attributes set up, you are ready to save your loadout and join a match. Remember, each character has their own unique set of abilities, perks, and attributes. That what works for one character might not work on another, so experiment and see what works for each character. Good luck. So I wonder if you can respec. I wonder if you decide later that what you did was not good. I wonder if you can respec. I hope so, because that'd be good. All right, let's go more into the attributes. Attributes show the strengths and weaknesses of each character in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Each family member has 3 attributes. Blood harvesting influences the family member's effectiveness at gathering blood from melee attacks or drainage buckets scattered around the map. Savagery determines the severity of injuries caused when attacking victims, affects melee attack damage. Endurance determines the number of times a family member can swing their weapon before attiring, as well as how long a character can sprint, affects the stamina cost for melee attacks and sprinting. You can increase the power of each stat category by unlocking attributes in the skill tree. These are limited in quantity, so spend them carefully. Boosting your existing strengths or boost your existing strengths or convert a weakness to help balance out each family member. Your character build and how you choose to play is up to you. Ability unlock tree. Every special ability can be leveled up to grow stronger. Each ability has 4 levels. The base level contains the default settings for each ability. From level 1, you can choose to add a bonus to the ability to make it more effective. Bonuses stack on top of each other, so at level 3, the ability receives enhancements for all 3 levels. Pick bonuses carefully, because once an enhancement is made, the path to the other upgrades... Whoa, what did that say? The path to the other upgrades will be blocked, I think is what it said. So, if I choose one, I'm not going to be able to go the other way now. You can respec. Or these at least. You can respec your star line ability if you wish to explore... Or your star sign ability if you wish to explore different paths. This keeps you from being locked in a certain playstyle if you change your mind later. Okay, that's good. I wonder if that also applies to attributes, though. This does not reduce the level of the ability, only which bonuses are unlocked. Try out and explore different ability upgrades. Okay, so I think what it means by it changes your abilities, right? But it doesn't change the level. So if I get one ability at level 3 and then I want to try and do one, I can go to that new one and it's level 1. But then if I want to go back, it's not going to reset my level. I think that's very good. I think that's a good thing. The skill tree. This is the skill tree. Here's where you earn and collect new features for your chosen character to populate your loadout. Each character has their own skill tree with unique layout. Progressing through the skill tree is the key to expanding each character's loadout possibilities. You can look at an overview of the skill tree or an expanded view by pressing Tab to enter full screen mode. You can navigate the skill tree using your mouse. Tab will open the full screen view. E will select and buy a node, and then escape to cancel out of the screen. You can zoom in and out using the X. To progress through the tree, you must buy nodes. And then, as you just saw on the screen, buying nodes cost skill points that are acquired by leveling up. It cuts off the other path if you don't take it. You can see what node does or you can see what each node does and how much it costs to unlock in the description box. You can see the amount of skill points you have to spend at the bottom left-hand corner of the skill tree, as well as how many points you have invested in a character. To buy a node, simply hover over it and press the E button. Different nodes cost varying amounts of skill points depending on the power of the perk being unlocked and the character it's designed for or designated for. Spending SP also increases the family member or victim's character level. Excuse me. This shows your potential strength with the selected character. Progressing through the skill tree will give you new ways to empower your character, giving you multiple options to suit your playstyle. Sometimes the path will split at a special node called a branched path. Once you pick one path, the other is closed. So take a look at what nodes you prefer to acquire before committing to a direction. There are several node types depending on selecting a family member or victim. Perk nodes unlock a perk to help you build Perk to help you build how you want to play your character to play. Okay. They can be equipped on the loadout screen. Each perk has 3 levels that you can see in the description box. To increase the level of a perk, equip it with the loadout menu, or equip it in the loadout menu and choose a character for matches. The perk will level up as you play the game. Attribute points can be assigned to the loadout screen to boost certain stats. Grandpa ability nodes are only available to the family. These nodes unlock a grandpa ability that can be equipped from the loadout screen. They are buffs for the whole family that are unlocked during a match by feeding grandpa blood. Random nodes offer characters a random selection of perks that are not part of their main skill tree. When selected, this node will pick a perk from another character's skill tree to unlock. Victims can upgrade their star sign. Excuse me. Victims can upgrade their star sign ability in the ability and perk menu. Here you can chart a path, picking how you want to upgrade your ability as it levels up. Oh, I didn't unpause. I was like, wow, this is taking a long time to go. I was like, I don't see this bar moving. Goodness. Family members can upgrade their ability too with the family member node at the base of their tree. Select the ability at the base of the tree, and then the character levels up. Select the ability, or select the upgrade to the ability that you would like. If you reach the end of the skill tree, you can respec and go through the tree again to unlock different perks and try new builds with each character. Respec will remove any currently unlocked perks and attribute points from your loadouts. There's no cost when you respec the skill tree. All spent SP will be returned to you for you to spend again. Okay, that's cool. Using the skill tree successfully with the character loadouts will allow you to craft individual versions of each character to suit your playstyle. Okay. Use this knowledge to your advantage, and we will see what is left of you after the massacre. So that means you can, like, if I want, like, a really stealthy build or, like, a really gung-ho build with the same character, I think I can do that, which is pretty cool. So those are all the family tutorials. I'm going to do one for the victims as well, but that'll probably be next week. If you guys want me to if you guys want to see me play this game just normally, let me know. But this game looks very cool. I like that all the killers have their own like twist to them, and I think it's very cool to see how, or it's gonna be very cool to see how they are gonna work together. But for now, like how characters mesh with one another, you know what I mean. For now, it's been TheHauntedScythe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.